Good day, everyone. My name is Dr. Nafisa Dhanani, and I am honored to be a part of Global GNM Foundation faculty. I recently completed my BHMS at Motiwala National Homeopathic Medical College. Then, I had a privilege of working under the guidance of Dr. Farooq Motiwala, our college principal, who has introduced me to the principles of Germanic New Medicine. Currently, I am working as an assistant doctor at Asha Homeopathic Clinic, where I have the great fortune of continuing my studies under the mentorship of Dr. Asher Shea, who has been the guiding star, guiding me in understanding the GNM in even greater depth. I'm learning not only the theory, but also how it applies practically in treating various conditions. Today, I will be speaking about Parkinson's disease and sharing the insights of my research into the emotional cause finding and healing process behind it with the help of Germanic New Medicine. So let's go ahead. I'll start screen sharing. So, once again, a welcome back and a great welcome and the congratulations for 8th anniversary celebration to Global GHK Foundation. I am Ms. Nafisa Dhanani going to talk about Parkinson's disease. Before that, the disclaimer, the information given in this presentation is for educational purpose only. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical service. Participants shall consult their medical doctors for health reasons before using anything that is disclosed during the course of this presentation. Students shall not use any of the different information given in this presentation while writing their examination. And a great gratitude to our Dr. Samuel Hahnemann and Dr. Raigard Hammer, father of homeopathy and the father of GNM, for providing such a beautiful science. Then again, my special thanks to Dr. Farooq Motiwala for being my guide and source of inspiration at the beginning and to introduce me about the GNM. And of course, Dr. Asher Sheikh, my visionary mentor, a guiding light and the epitome of wisdom in my journey of learning. Thank you so much for explaining me the GNM in even greater depth. Thank you. And this is my team of Asher Clinic. Let's start with the case. A patient of 72 years came with a with a diagnosis of Parkinson's disease since 2.5 years. What were the complaints? Heaviness in legs after standing for some time, aggravation standing, aggravation walking, slowness of movements and thoughts, sensation of falling, especially forward when gets up at night, and mild trembling of hands. These symptoms are very common for the Parkinson's, right? Nothing new. Let's go the history and the mind of that patient or the life space situation of the patient. The main characteristic was, since few years, patient has a fear. What if my wife dies before me? She's my support since beginning. I won't be able to manage anything without her. I should die before her. He gets anxious, wakes up at night with the thoughts with chest heaviness and anxiety. Has anxiety about business. Wife does not know much about the finances. I try to tell her, but either she does not have time or does not want to listen. What will happen to business matter and finances after me? Multiple things about businesses go through me. Had stress when money was given to friend and had difficulty in retrieving it back. Had a dream to make a big business and give lavish life to wife and kids. But in 1980 and 90, got a big downfall. After that, got scared of taking big risks. He did develop business, but yet has a thought in mind that he could not give to family what he had thought. Feel embarrassed about disease. Is indecisive, wants wife's support, but does not like when others offer him while getting up. This was the gist of that case. What we have selected the rubric was mind fear happen something will family to his, mind irresolution, mind anxiety future about, mind thoughts persistent, mind lamenting appreciated because he is not. That was a confirmatory symptom while we got the symptom of calcareous cell and the prescription was calcareous cell 203 doses 8 hourly. This was a basic homeopathic way of handling any type of cases, right? And in first follow-up itself, of course, while I'll not waste the time in
Good. I am fine. Okay.
in this
Much
video.
better now. अच्छा काय काय बरं वाटतंय? बरं म्हणजे आता बेसिकली थोडं हे मुवमेंट्स बऱ्यापैकी सुधारलेत, फास्ट झालेत. ओके. आणि
What the patient says here was movement speed has increased, legs heaviness is much reduced, almost 30 to 40%. Sensation of falling was reduced 20%. Trembling of hands almost gone, mild on left side. Urging of urination reduced, sleep improved, thoughts also much improved. In just 1 month and the first follow-up with these many symptoms getting improved. And not only by knowing the patient's what patient is saying, I have just followed the MDS UPDRS scale, which is the officially unified Parkinson's disease rating scale before and after the treatment. So in fourth follow-up, from the score 52, the patient came up till 31. This was the scientific proof that, yes, our medicine is acting. This made me study 10 cases of Parkinson because I was much anxious to know how the medicines are acting and how it is improving. Because as much we have heard is Parkinson's is a progressive disease. And astonishingly, each cases was having different sets of symptoms. Same diagnosis, but different sets of symptoms. Why? And for this research, before that, I'll tell you this image. Here, these are childs with different expressions, but they're not able to speak, but their face can tell us what is going on in their mind. Why? Because of the actions of the muscles. Our emotions are expressed through the facial muscles and showing different expression which opposite person can understand what the person is thinking, what the opposite person is thinking. Just look at these different dishes and you get salivation in the mouth. Why? These questions made me think that yes, there is some relation between the emotion and the muscles and the body's different parts reaction. So there is some or the other reactions, and this search I started with my topic that decoding the emotional tremors behind Parkinson's disease. I have selected this topic to find out what is the emotional cause behind this most progressing disease. Why Parkinson's disease only? Because the definition itself attracts me. Parkinson's disease is an idiopathic, slowly progressive neurodegenerative disorder. The Parkinson disease definition itself says it's an idiopathic, means the cause is not known. If the cause is not known, without any cause, can such big disease can happen in anyone's life? No. It's a slow progressive, means the disease is going to be progressed. It's itself is given in the definition. So I go ahead. The Parkinson's disease symptom, we all know: masked face, forward tilt of trunk, reduced arm swing, rigidity, tremors. These are the common symptoms which we found in Parkinson's disease. Even World Health Organization says globally, disability and death due to PD, that is Parkinson's disease, are rapidly increasing. If you will see the prevalence of Parkinson's disease, as I belongs to India, I have seen the whole of the India is covered, or who in Parkinson's disease is spreaded all over India. Then it's a topic of thinking, right? What is the cause behind it? How we can stop it? What we got the causes in our books are genetic factors, environmental factors, sex, race, injury in head, such common factors. Age, but if it is age, then whether all the persons above that particular age is suffering with Parkinson's? No. Dopamine reduced. If it's a dopamine reduced and it acts as a neurotransmitter, then the symptoms should be common for everybody. The symptoms should be common for the whole body. Means if the trembling is there, there should be both hand tremblings. Why the patients comes with only right hand trembling? Why some patients comes with face trembling? What's the reason behind it? Hereditary. Then why not all the persons of the same family? Why few? Head injury. Whether all head injury leads to Parkinson's? No. Genetic. What can be genetic? And if it is genetic, what is the cause which modulates the gene, which changes the gene to cause the Parkinson's? What was the stages of Parkinson? We know 5 stages. First, develop mild symptom and able to go with day-to-day life. Then the tremors, stiffness starts. Then stage 3, loss of balance start. Stage 4 symptoms gets more severe. And stage 5 gets up till pipeline rigidity. But anywhere in the books, I have not read the reversing of Parkinson or getting better from Parkinson's. Why the stages are increasing day by day? How it has been diagnosed? There is no result, there is no disease or no pathology is seen in the CT scans. And how it can be diagnosed by the doctor? Doctor examines patient's expression, limbs, neck muscles, pattern of walking, quickness. These are common symptoms of how a neurophysician or how a doctor examines that whether the patient is suffering with Parkinson's or not. And the treatment, of course, there are many medicines given, but the most common which which we know is the levodopa, carbidopa, that is Syndopa tablet. But what if, whether after giving Syndopa also or after giving the medicine also, whether the patient is getting recovered or whether the patient is improving completely? No, relief came in waves tied to the clockwork of Syndopa's action. Means at least the until the medicine is acting, that time the patient is feeling relaxed. Temporary comfort. It gives temporary comfort. What our sixth edition or what our homeopathy says, in homeopathy aphorism 3, Dr. Hahnemann says, if the physician clearly perceives what is to be cured in disease, that is to say, in every individual case of disease, means a physician should know the knowledge of disease, the knowledge of medicine, and how to apply the knowledge of disease to the knowledge of medicine. Then only you can treat the patient, then only you can cure the patient. Aphorism 4 says, he is likewise a preserver of health if he knows the thing that deranges health and cause disease. Homeopathy itself, it says, you should know what are the things that deranges health. And that's the cause, that is the causa causalis, that is the ailments from of the disease. The natural disease is never to be considered as a noxious material or produced by an inimical spirit. Means there should be a cause, emotional cause, mental cause behind each of the chronic disease. What is that? In search of that, we have gone to psyche, brain, and organ relation. How you will get? From GNM and homeopathy combining, we got the cure. What GNM says about the Parkinson's disease? Parkinson's with tremors in one hand or both originates in a motor conflict associated with the hand. The tremors might get occurred in the neck or in just one arm or leg, depending on the nature of the motor conflict. The typical muscle stiffness, slowing of movements are symptoms of prolonged healing, while the tremors occurs during the epileptoid crisis. What is all about? We will study each of the thing in the further slides. Means here you can got to know that Parkinson is caused by motor conflict. But each muscle, each body parts having a different situation, having a different reasons of motor conflict. For that understanding, we will go ahead. What is the affected organ? The most important is skeletal muscle, because every movement, everything is being slowed down. How it has been controlled? The skeletal muscles have 2 control centers in the cerebrum. The first part, nutritional part, is by cerebral medulla, but the functions of the muscle, contraction of the muscle, is controlled from the motor cortex. Laterality wise, the muscles of right side of the body are controlled from left side of the cerebrum, and muscles of the left side are controlled from the right side of the cerebrum. And here the principle of laterality will be observed. We all knows what is the principle of laterality. If right-handed male, partner, father, spouse can affect your right side, and left side will be affected by mother, sibling, style, blood relation work. But the body whispers to us until we can't hear it anymore. And then it screams. And that scream is the symptoms which we see. Because we have not heard the whispers when the body was giving you an indication that you are going into a disease, that you are coming into a conflict. Let's go one by one, each in detail. The biological conflict linked to the skeletal muscle is a moderate self-devaluation conflict. We know everybody, the bones, muscles, joints, all are because of self-devaluation. But the conflict related to the movements of the muscle. In Parkinson's, the movements is being hampered. The movement of the muscle is a motor conflict, or not being able to move, or feeling stuck conflict. Example I have given, a professional dancer is preparing for a big performance but suddenly injures their ankle. Despite their desires and determination to perform, they feel stuck because they are physically unable to move. Of course, not the Parkinson example of professional dancer, but here I am explaining you what can be the motor conflict. He was ambitious, he was preparing good with a great determination to perform, but due to some of the injury, he is stuck. She is stuck. So, feeling stuck is the motor conflict. We need to find out where the patient was stuck in their life situation. When the facial muscles get affected, what you will ask, what you will search in patient's life is losing a face. That is loss of status, reputation, respect, honor, prestige, dignity, humiliation. You can ask patient where you have failed the humiliated, where you have failed that, where you have felt that there is a loss of status, there is loss of position for you, where you have faced that I cannot show my face to the opposite person. These all are the things which can affect the movements of the facial muscles. Like, for example, I have taken a young man is giving a public speech at a college event. During the speech, he mistakenly mispronounces an important word, leading to the audience laughing at him. So he feels deeply humiliated, as though he has lost face in front of everyone. Same situation happens in any condition, anything. But how you perceive will be the situation. How you perceive will be the reaction of your body. What if the jaw muscle is affected? That is not being able to bite. Bite conflict, what the GNM says is not being able or not being allowed to bite an opponent, a competitor, colleague, or to snap up something that one desires. You want to say something, but you cannot because of any reason. The conflict can also be experienced in real terms, that not being able to open the mouth. It can be due to dentition work, dental procedures. It can be either physical or it can be a metaphorical meaning with your emotions. Like, for example, a young woman works hard for a promotion at her job, but her manager overlooks her effort and instead promotes a less qualified colleague. In this situation, what patient fails is feeling metaphorically unable to open her mouth. She was not able to tell the manager that these are the reason, or I should get this opportunity, I should get this promotion. Why you have, and when in such situation you feel stuck, then it comes to a motor conflict. It may be your perseverance can be different. You can feel devaluation, then the other self devaluation, bones, joints will get affected. So how you perceive the situation, that is the motor conflict. Neck muscles not being able or allowed to move or turn the head. You are in a situation where you cannot decide whether this or this, which side should I look, which side should I face. Like here, you can say example, a man feels stuck in an intense family argument where his wife and son demand his support, but on the opposite side, mother is there. He feels unstable to turn his head, where to go. And this indecision makes him feel stuck in not taking decision. You see in Parkinson patient, there is slurring of speech, there is sound disturbance. Why? A scare fright conflict is in the response of unforeseen danger. Suddenly you saw the danger, suddenly you have experienced the danger, but you cannot shout, but you cannot tell the opposite person, but you cannot react it at that time. And that was the scare fright conflict uh, affecting your voice. When the affection of shoulder and back muscles are there, that is not being able to get out of the way or step aside. Means what? Shoulders are always comes with responsibility. We consider it as a responsibility. A man is working in a high pressure job where his boss constantly blames him for mistakes, even when they are not his fault. Here also patient can perceive it in different ways. Delusion, neglected, or he's disrespected, anything. But when the patient is feeling here trapped because of the responsibility of the home, because he has to manage the financial condition, because he has to manage her household queries, the constant mental struggle of not being able to get out, and because of that he's not leaving the job, because of that he's not telling the manager that don't do this, or I it's not my fault, because of fear that I will lose this. And fear leads to how then my family will work, how I will be able to manage the financial responsibility of my family. So here the person was stuck in the situation, even not wanting to, but still he has to. Arm muscles being forcefully held down, not being able to hold or embrace someone or hold someone back in your life, or it can be not being able to push someone away. Like it can be in physical abuse, sexual abuse, during a vaccination, in a fight, in a play. It can be anything. But when you felt that your arms are stuck, you cannot do. Like example, an attempted assault of a woman, but feels powerless to defend herself. This where they have feel that my arm muscles, or I was stuck. I was not able to move my arms. I was not able to move my hands because of this reason, and the stuck feeling was there. It leads to motor conflict of arms, affecting the arms. Hand muscles, not being able to hold someone or hold someone back, means someone is going, you want to keep it, you want to hold them in your life, you want to keep it in your life, but you are not able to. Like a father at the train station, suddenly a baby suddenly baby climbed up on the train, and the train missed and the train went off, but the father was not able to hold. It was just example, but in patient's life you need to find out where this type of condition was there, depending on the patient's presenting complaint, depending on patient's symptom which the patient came up with the Parkinson's disease. Leg muscles not being able to escape or flee or run away, not being able to leap aside, not being able to follow, feeling rooted to the spot. You are feeling that you are stuck at one place, you are not able to climb up, you are not able to kick somebody away from your life, not able to walk from some place. That's where the leg muscles gets affected. Like a young athlete is participating in a critical race, but during the final stretch, he suddenly feel his legs cramping and unable to keep up with the leading runner. He was failed. He was out for this race, but what was her feeling? Not being able to escape. This leads to motor conflict. This leads to stuck conflict affecting the leg muscles in the Parkinson's disease. How this layer or this muscles affected by new mesoderm, controlled by new mesoderm, controlled by cerebral medulla or cortex. The conflict was motor conflict. What happens in conflict active phase is cell loss or ulceration. And what happens in healing phase is cell proliferation. That is, atrophied muscle is reconstructed. Why all this? We will go ahead. In conflict active phase, there is cell loss or necrosis of the muscle. Whenever you are suffering with such motor conflict, stuck conflict at any areas of life, you are feeling that you are stuck, cell loss will be started of muscle tissue. If the part is because of self-devaluation and it is controlled by the cerebral medulla. But if it is by the cerebral cortex, motor cortex, then it will happen muscle weakness or muscle paralysis. That's why the patient is not able to do the walk with a constant speed. Why the patient is feeling there is stiffness. Why there is a patient feeling muscles are paralyzed because he is not able to work, because the patient is in conflict active phase. You know, you might have heard the story that two boys or two friends were in the desert or in the jungle, and then they felt that the lion is coming. One friend was knowing how to climb the tree, but other was not. So what other has did, he tried to fake the death, that he's a death person. And in nature, a predator often attacks a prey only when it tries to escape. And the instinctive response of our body, since I can't escape, I play dead. So body tries, if you are not able to escape from the situation, it tries to make you feel dead. So that it's a survival mechanism by the nature. and hence your muscles, your body is getting stiff. Your muscles and bodies are unable to move. So the biological purpose of the paralysis originates in the fake death reflex. The muscle weakness might be noticed as a clumsiness or heaviness. The patient might say the body feels heavy, unable to move, unable to do a regular work. And prolonged conflict activity, because the cell loss is going on, the conflict is active for a longer time, the muscle starts atrophying, the muscle starts getting losing the cells. And with a motor conflict, muscle atrophy and muscle paralysis occurs together, because anyhow when you are stuck in some situation, you will be feeling the devalued, because I'm not able to do this, I'm not able to do this feeling will definitely come, and always the motor conflict then lead to self devaluation conflict, and the two of them will get mixed up. That's why the motor conflict will always cause muscle atrophy and muscle paralysis together, particularly when the distress of not being able to move an arm or leg causes a self devaluation conflict. See here, you can see the CT scan, left leg motor conflict. Here you can see left musculature of the foot is controlled by this part, and this part was showing hammerhead. Means from the hammerhead also you can find out that there is something related to leg, there is something related to the leg muscles have affected. There is somewhere the patient was feeling stuck because of his leg issue, because of anything related to the legs. What Dr. Hammer says is the big danger is that the patient suffers a motor conflict due to the diagnosis shock, since he has been told that he will most likely to be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. In today's era, Parkinson's disease is to be considered as it is going to be progress. If you are suffering with Parkinson, slowly, you are going to be on bed rest. You are going to be in a wheelchair, because you're not going to be recovered from it. And that's the biggest motor conflict that now I cannot do. So even a smallest conflict start, just the beginning of conflict started, and you got the diagnosis of Parkinson's disease, and you are going deeper and deeper into motor conflict and then self-evaluation conflict. That's why the disease is getting progressive, which indicates in the definition that it's a progressive disease. The belief that Parkinson's are hereditary makes a person whose parent has the condition more vulnerable to suffer a motor conflict. Because when your parents are suffering with the Parkinson and you know that the Parkinson's disease is a hereditary, you yourself has fixed it in your mind that my parents are suffering with Parkinson, so I'm definitely going to be in it. I'm definitely going to be a part of this disease. And this is the one or another cause of a motor conflict. You yourself has created you inside the motor conflict. What will happen in healing phase? During the healing phase, now the atrophied muscle will be reconstructed because through cell proliferation. Whenever you have accepted the situation, when you got to know that because of this emotion I am suffering with this, whenever you have been acknowledged, you have accepted that situation, accepted that cause, and you have tried to come out of that cause, then the healing phase will start, and the atrophied muscle will be reconstructed through cell proliferation. What will happen? Muscle will be going into hypertrophy, because enlargement of the muscles will be there. That time the swelling of the muscle stiffness, pain, this will be there from mild to severe depending upon the intensity of the conflict. That's why in GNM, fibromyalgia and polymyalgia indicates a long-lasting healing. The brain edema, that because of the hammerhead, because of the conflict is there in the CT scan, because of the conflict is situated in your brain hemisphere, the brain edema will be developed in the motor cortex, and during the first part of healing phase, it will scratch the synapses between the neurons. Because there is edema, because there is water accumulation, there will be stretching of the neurons synapses, which delays the transfer of nerve impulses to the affected muscle. And that's why in post-conflictual lysis A phase, the paralysis remains and the muscle weakness increases. So if you are saying after starting the medicine, the patient is more going into a muscle weakness, more it is going into a paralysis phase. Your body is trying to heal, and that we should not disturb. For the uninformed, the further loss of motor function usually leads to additional motor conflict. And here, if you are not knowing that this is the healing phase, if you are not telling your patient that this healing phase will come, and in that healing phase you will suffer with these symptoms, you will suffer with the pain, you will suffer with more of this some stiffness, then the patient will additionally leads to motor conflict. More and more motor conflict will lead to worsening of the condition. Again, the brain CT scan showing two hammer-Hertz situation on left hand, right and left hand, revealing that a conflict is not being able to hold someone or not being able to defend oneself. During the epileptoid crisis, when the conflict active was there and suddenly you are coming into epileptoid crisis, is a sympathetic tonic surge expels the edema in the motor cortex. The sudden recorrection of the affected nerve cell will cause rhythmic convulsion, because now as we have seen in previous slide, the neurons transmitter will get slowed down. But now in the epileptoid crisis, again it is reconnecting. Again the nerve cells are causing a reconnected. That's why the rhythmic convulsion, muscle spasm, twitching of muscles will be there. So you need to understand between whether the symptoms are exaggerating or whether the patient is in epileptoid crisis and how to manage this. The exaggerated muscular movements are a positive sign that the muscle function is striving to get back to normal, and that we should understand. Motor cortex constellation is seen in the Parkinson's disease. Why? Because I have already told you that there are two conflicts coming together, that is self-devaluation conflict and motor conflicts coming back to back with each other. That's causing a constellation. What do you mean by constellation? Constellation means that a person is conflict active with two biological conflicts that corresponds to both brain and hemisphere. The constellation is established the moment the second conflict impacts the opposite brain hemisphere. Means already you are suffering with one conflict, that is okay, that is one conflict and you are going to be healed. But as soon as the second conflict comes into your life, it becomes a constellation, because two conflicts at the same time is there. The two conflicts can occur simultaneously or in sequence. The first conflict is already happened, and for example, like abandonment conflict, it can be self-devaluation conflict, sexual conflict, any conflict is there already before, and now the second conflict took place. It can be directly in few months, few days, or it can be after a few years. But this first conflict has not been resolved yet, and the second conflict comes. It is a constellation. A person can suffer at once with two conflicts of the same nature, like two nest worry conflict related to partner also and related to child also. Then both the sides of the body is going to be affected. So a person can suffer with two conflicts of the same nature. A constellation can be brought on when one DHS has two aspects. It can be due to two causes. It can be due to one simple nest worry conflict, one single conflict with two places. Means you are already affecting right side also, you are getting affected with left side also. This constellation part is very, very deep to understand how the two conflicts are attached and how you need to cure in that way. When you will consider the first conflict, how you will consider the second conflict, how you will cure it. But these are one another topic to be dealt in detail for the understanding and for the curing the patient. The motor cortex constellation causes motor hyperactivity. This was the main line for the Parkinson's disease. Why the patient is showing tremors? Why the patient is having continuous jerking movements of hands and legs? Because the motor cortex constellation causes motor hyperactivity and a compulsion to move. Why? Because you are stuck somewhere and you want to come out. So body tries to make excessive movements. The compulsion to move present as not being able to sit still. You are not able to sit still, you are squirming in the chair, excessive fidgetity is there, feet tapping is there continuously. The degree of hyperactivity is proportional to the intensity of the conflict. So in motor cortex constellation, you will see these symptoms like motor hyperactivity. The patient is having continuously moving some or the other parts of the body, depending on the which type of motor conflict the patient is having. And you see here, we say whenever you are stuck in the mud, our body tries to come out of it because you are stuck and you want to come out. That's the purpose of constellation, to counteract the distress of feeling stuck with maximum movement. So body is showing you the maximum movement to come out of that feeling of being stuck. Moving calms the person and reduces the anxiety. And this moving will come because he feels that I am trying to come out of this situation. So I will. And this reduces the patient's anxiety and makes him calm. But this was all about what GNM tells to us, what Germanic New Medicine tells to us about Parkinson's disease cause. But is there any scientific connection between emotions and body muscle movements? Of course, GNM is also telling us what is scientifically to be proved. But whether it is the same thing which is said in the conventional medicine? Yes. Pyramidal tracts were the first tract to be found in men, and pyramidal tracts of spinal cord are the descending tract concerned with voluntary muscle motor activities of the body. Pyramidal tracts are responsible for motor activities of the body. Here you can see the cerebral cortex is being shown, and different body parts, ankle, foot, hip, knee, wrist, fingers, thumbs, all different body parts are going up with one connection. Every one or the other areas are located for it, so that from this part these muscles will be controlled, and this is said in our medicine books too. So primary motor cortex, and from this you can relate that even in our science, even in our GNM also says that the motor conflict is controlled by the cerebral cortex, and this is to be proved, and this has been proved here. Functional pyramidal tract are concerned with voluntary movements of the body. Fibers of the pyramidal tract transmits motor impulses from motor area of the cerebral cortex. This is what GNM says to the anterior motor neurons of the spinal cord. And these two tracts are responsible for fine skilled movements. That's why our hands doing the skilled movements of sweeping, of some skill movement, you are writing, you are doing skill work, and these are getting affected because your pyramidal tract is disturbed. And why it has been disturbed? The book says cerebral cortex lesion of the pyramidal tract fiber in cerebral cortex causes hypertonia, spasticity, contralateral monoplegia, hemiplegia, cerebral cortex lesion. Where this lesion comes, this lesion is nothing but the emotional conflict which we have studied in the GNM, and this will cause hypertonia, spasticity, what we have studied in the active phase and healing phase, when the muscles get hypertonied, where the muscle is getting atrophied, where the muscle will be going into a hypertrophy. This is nothing but the same which we have studied through GNM, and we have connected it to the conventional medicine books. And this has made me study 10 different cases of Parkinson's with a baseline score, which you can see here, which I have used by MDS UPDRS scale, that is Unified Parkinson's Disease Rating Scale, and post-treatment score was this line, and there was a change in score with percentage improvement. I have seen more than 35% of improvement in 4 to 5 follow-ups itself. That's the reason. Then how this can prove that how if you are knowing the cause of the disease, and if you are telling your patient, if you are expressing your patient that if you are guiding them that this is the cause of your disease, and if you will improve here, your disease will improve itself. And after that, additionally, we consider that symptoms, we consider the patient's cause and the patient's adaptation in our homeopathic case taking in our, and selecting a rubrics and giving a remedy so that it will act much better way. So how GNM and homeopathy acts together, this was well proved with this research. And you can see how the research was. The patient here, if you can see the blue lines, that was the patient's before symptoms. Before patient's quality of life was hampered with this much of that, and after giving medicine, we are able to improve the quality of life. Decrease in symptoms is equals to improve the quality of life. And that was my exam given by me at MDS UPDRS training program, so that my this research to be the most scientific, to be the most authentic by using this officially accepted scale. That was the scale which I have used to rate, not only by listening the patient symptom. Patient is saying, yes, I am getting better. Yes, I am getting better. But how much better, that is to be considered, and that I have done in my research. So, and not only in my research, but even in my study, I got to know that not only this thing, but even there are various researches which connects that emotions in action, when emotion meets motor circuits, when emotion meets see here highlight, emotions significantly influence motor performance in daily activities and pathological condition. These are great researches at the Elsevier journal, and this proves that what we are saying, what we are studying is nothing new, but it is scientifically proven, and this helps a lot in your day-to-day life. To end, it's not about to fight with the disease, it's about peace with oneself. You need to find out where you are feeling unpeace, where you are feeling stuck, where you are suffering with a conflict. And once you are knowing this, once you have acknowledged this, you are going to be cured. You will be having a good and quality of life. That was my research showing how GNM has helped me, and of course how GNM has helped all those Parkinson's patients which we are treating at Asher Homeopathy Clinic by considering GNM as well as homeopathy. Thank you so much. And this was the my session, and I will definitely tell you that GNM is have changed my life, and if you are knowing the GNM, if you will go deeper into the GNM, then it will definitely change in your life too. Thank you.